What's up guys, I'm PokerfaceAsh and welcome to my channel. I am currently on my way to Vegas. I decided to drive through the night. I don't know whose brilliant idea that was, but I am driving about 3 hours away. I'm going to get some sleep when I get there and then hit the cash game stream. I'll see you guys in Vegas. So I arrived in Vegas exhausted because I drove all night, so it was time to get some sleep, so I headed to my 2-bedroom suite at Caesar's Palace. It was pretty awesome. After I woke up, it was time to grab some food, so I headed to a restaurant. Shockingly enough, as many times that I've been to Vegas at Caesar's, I have never eaten here, so I checked out Nobu. It's a nice sushi spot. I got some sticky rice, some yellowtail, salmon sashimi, and a soft shell crab roll. It was delicious. So after I ate, I was ready to hit the tables. I'm here to play at none other than the Wynn poker room at the Encore. I absolutely love this room. Last time, if you checked out my old vlogs, we had a great session here, so I'm hoping to do it again today. I also happen to run into one of my good friends, Lily Newhouse, aka my mindset coach. So she's here to come play some cash sessions, so it's gonna be a good time. All right, I'll see you guys in there. So I grabbed my chips, sat down, and was ready to play this 2-3 no limit at the Wynn, where the max buy-in is $500, so that's what we're in for. Alright, well I folded for what felt like forever until I finally picked up a reasonable playable hand. Stacks are about $470 effective. There's a button straddle to $6, under the gun limps for $6, and I'm next to act and I raised to $20 with ace-jack offsuit. The small blind calls the $20, the big blind calls, and the other limpers calls, so we're going 5 ways to a flop. The flop is queen of diamonds, 6 of spades, 2 of hearts. I'll be betting a lot of my hands on this board, but with my hand specifically, I think there's some good turn cards that I can start to bet here. There's a lot of players in the hand, and it's very unlikely that I have the best hand at this point, so I decide to check through on the flop. The turn is the king of clubs, and remember guys, I have not played a single hand, so this card is great for my range, great for my hand because we pick up some backdoor gut shot equity, and I can start barreling now, planning to barrel on the river as well. So it checks around to me and I bet $35. Only the small blind calls, who is a very recreational player, and I've picked up a lot of common live tells from this guy. We're going heads up to the river, which is the 3 of hearts. He checks looking very, very weak, and so I don't need to put out a huge bet here, but I do need to put out a reasonably sized bet, so I choose the size of $65. He thinks for a little bit and does exactly what I thought he was going to do and puts in the fold, so our very first hand, we don't make a pair, but hey, ace high, we get the bluff through. This was definitely a time where I used my image to my advantage. I'm not normally as tight as they perceive, but I was just extremely spot dead, and I'm not going to start deviating and playing stupid hands just because I'm card dead. Well, usually anyway. So we pick up a nice pot here, and let's move on to the next hand. In this hand, I raise pocket 7s under the gun to $11. I get 3 callers, so we go 4 ways to a flop of 5-5 deuce. The big blind who made the call pre-flop, he decides he wants to lead into this pot for $75. This bet isn't only polarizing because of the size, but also because he's leading into the pre-flop raiser on a board that should be advantageous for me. This bet size is also confusing because if he does have a made hand better than mine, he now is forcing all worst hands to fold and only going to get called by better. So as I'm thinking this through, I don't want to make the call and then face some sort of weird action from the players to my left, so I think I just have to let this one go. Very weird spot. And so as I'm getting ready to make the fold, the guy to my left, the recreational player, ends up making the call out of turn, so it kind of saved me some chips, and unfortunately the hand didn't get to showdown, so I didn't get to see what they had, but a weird spot, and we'll move on to the next hand. So overall, this session was not eventful at all, so I'm just going to tell you guys the hands that I did play because I was extremely spot dead. So I look down at ace-9 suited under the gun. It feels like pocket aces, so I bump it up to $10. I pick up 3 callers along the way, so we're going 4 ways to a flop of ace-9-9. I think we hit this flop pretty good.
Ooh, let the dogs out. Ooh.
The 2 players in position against me check it over, and I have this board so locked that I just want to hope that some players catch up on the turn or the river, so I'm going to check this one through. So we head 4 ways to a turn card. The turn is a jack. It checks to me again, and now I can't check any longer. I gotta start trying to get some value by hopefully maybe an ace, possibly a slow played 9, or maybe an unbelieving jack. So I put in a bet of $15, and sadly they all fold, but we pick up a decent pot here. Just unfortunate that we couldn't cooler someone when we flop a full house. Alright, taking a quick break. I literally did not play a hand for the first like 40 minutes. I was super card dead, spot dead, just not getting good card distribution. After that time where I was super card dead, I ended up raising like 3 or 4 hands in a row and made some hands and got in some fun pots as you saw. So I'm gonna go back in there, play for a little bit longer. I am pretty tired. I did take a nap, but I was up for like almost 24 hours the night before. So I definitely need some sleep, and then tomorrow I'll hit the cash game streets again. But let's see if we can end this session on a positive note. Right now we're up about 1:30ish, I think. So let's see if we can continue this. All right, see you guys in there. In this hand, middle position limps, the hijack limps, and I decide to limp on the button with ace-7 suited. Can I raise here with a suited ace in position? Absolutely, and in a lot of games I will be raising this at a very high frequency, although sometimes it's nice to keep worse suited hands in so we can overflush them and cooler them. Also, if we raise with this hand, we're really just hoping to hit an ace. Our kicker isn't that good, so overall I think it's nice to just play a pot here in position, especially on this loose table where there's a lot of call happy players. I don't think raising here accomplishes much unless we're somehow able to get heads up, which at this table that hasn't been the case very often. As you can see, we've been going multi-way to flops. So we're going 3 ways to a flop of ace of clubs, jack of spades, 6 of hearts. It checks to me, and now I'm going to start betting. I have top pair, not a great kicker, but we do have a backdoor flush draw, and we can start getting value from a lot worse, so I make it $10. Middle position, who's a steaming player who just lost a massive cooler pot, he makes the call, so we're going heads up to a turn card. The turn does bring in the backdoor flush draw. It's the 9 of spades. He checks, and I'm going to continue barreling here with my equity and my top pair. I can get called by a lot of gut shots, worse flush draws, a lot of gut shot and straight draws that might float this flop, so he does indeed make the call. The river is another jack. He checks it over to me. Now with this second jack on the board and our not so great kicker, we are more than happy to check it back, and he flips over king 10 offsuit. So he did float the flop and the turn there with a gutter, and I think we got some good value out of him, and we flip over our hand and take down the pot. Well, after a very uneventful session, it was time to head to the cashier and get some rest, so I was in the game for $500 and I cashed out for $697 for a profit of $197. Not a very eventful session at all, but if anything, it shows you guys that majority of sessions are gonna be like this. A lot of folding, not a lot of action, just kind of boring to be honest with you. Is it the biggest win? No. Is it a loss? No. Is it a win? Yeah, and I'll take that all day long. So still got a lot of poker to play left on this trip. Played for about 4 hours, started to get tired, and I need to get some real sleep, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. So the next day, I woke up and my friends were chilling at the diamond section at the Caesars Sportsbook, so we got reserved seats to watch the Chiefs game. Oh my goodness, one of the best games I've ever watched. The place was going insane. After that, I headed to go get a workout in. So as a part of this poker vlog, I also wanted to include a little bit of my lifestyle and things outside of poker, and one of the exciting things I've done lately is hired a personal trainer who basically keeps me accountable, gives me workouts and modifies my workouts if I'm on the road, and also gives me some healthy eating plans, and it has been amazing. I've lost almost 4 pounds in the last 3 weeks and I'm not stopping now. I'm here at Caesars about to get a workout in, and I'm excited to kind of see the results and the progress. If you guys want to follow along or you guys want to talk cooking, health, fitness, make sure to join my Discord channel. The link is in the description. I even post some recipes and things in there, so I'd love for you to join us. Anyway, all right, about to get a workout in. Let's do this. After my workout, out, my friend surprised me with reservations at my favorite restaurant. You guys all know what it is at this point. Amalfi at Caesars. It's one of Bobby Flay's restaurants. We got the bronzino fish, we got some pasta, we got some amazing desserts. Even though I don't drink very much anyway, I got one drink, which was the mezcal Negroni. I love mezcal. It was absolutely delicious. All right, now it's time to play some poker. We found ourselves at the Caesars poker room, and I decided that I wanted to play some 2-5 where the cap is $500. And something really cool, if you didn't know already, if you are a diamond status member, you get to the top of the list, which is pretty awesome. So I was able to get a seat pretty fast and jumped in this 2-5 game, and we're in for the max, which is $500. So just like our session at the Wynn, our card distribution was just terrible for about the first hour. I had no playable hands until I looked down at pocket 8's under the gun, so I raised to $15. The button, who seems to be a very competent player, he puts in a 3-bet and he makes it $50 to go. Stacks are about 500 effective at this point, and I have the implied odds to make the call, especially because if I flop a set here, he should have a pretty strong range, raising my under the gun open, even though it's from the button. So I make the call, and we're going heads up to a flop. The flop is as terrible as it could possibly get for me. The flop is ace, king, queen with 2 hearts.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
I'm planning to check and give up, but surprisingly, I was very shocked that he checked back on this flop. The turn is the beautiful, the magical, the magnificent offsuit 8, so we make a set here on this board, a very, very sneaky set, I might add.
Do you really expect me to not push you up against the wall, biatch?
So I check again, thinking that he's gonna start firing with all of his holdings at this point, even a hand like pocket jacks, pocket tens, a hand that wants to deny equity. So I check it over to him, and he puts out a bet of 75. This board is extremely wet and dynamic. A hand like ace queen is never folding, ace 10, ace jack, ace king. So many hands not folding here, so I want to get in as much money as possible, but I don't want to raise too big to where he can't jam over the top, so I decide on a bet of $200. He thinks for a long while, counting out his chips, seeing how many I have, and then he says those magic words, "I'm all in." I look up, grab my chips, and toss them in the middle. The board runs out what seems to be pretty harmless. He flips over ace jack. I flip over my hand, and we win over $1,000 pot. What a sweet turn card. We got insanely lucky. We also got super lucky that he decided to check the flop and gave me a free card, and we absolutely drilled it. In this hand, I'm in the big blind and I'm still stacking my chips from the last hand, our monster pot with the set of 8s. So it folds around to the button and he puts in a raise to $20. I look down at queen 10 offsuit. I'm not gonna fold a Broadway hand, heads up, button versus big blind, so I make the call here and let's head to the streets. The flop is 10, 9, 5, all hearts, so we do flop top pair. I check and he bets $20. I'm not going anywhere with my top pair just yet, so I make the call. The turn is a blank, it's the 3 of spades. I check it over to him and he decides on a bet of $35. It's a pretty small sizing. He can have lots of semi-bluffs with the king of hearts, the ace of hearts, some gut shot draws. I'm not gonna fold for this sizing just yet, and let's see what the river brings. The river is the jack of hearts. It's a very scary card for me, and he decides on a check after thinking for a bit and says, I can't win, and he flips over ace 8 of clubs, so he was just on a pretty naked bluff there. I flip over my hand. It was a nice hand to win in a spot where we could have got bluffed off it on the river, and luckily he decided to give up.
Cross is good there. Cross is good there. That might make a flop.
In this hand, it folds around to me in the hijack, and I look down at pocket 4s, so I raise it up and make it $15. The small blind calls and the big blind calls, so we're going 3 ways to a flop. The flop is 6-6 deuce. They check it over to me. This board texture shouldn't hit them at all, and I can bet my full range on this board for about a quarter pot, so I decide on a bet sizing of $15, and both of them fold pretty quickly, and we pick up a little pot. Like I said, this session has been pretty uneventful. Not really many interesting hands to talk about except for that pocket 8's hand, but here we are. We're next to act after an under the gun open to $20, and we look down at pocket kings. I don't need to 3-bet too big here, and the guy to my right had been playing pretty tight, so I don't want to scare him out of this pot, especially being out of position, so I decide on a raise size of $60. It folds back around to him, and unfortunately, whatever he had, he let his hand go. I thought we were going to play a big pot there, but too bad, and we'll go ahead and pick up this small pot. Alright, well, that was a pretty awesome session. Got lucky, obviously, with that turn card, set of 8s, but we will take it. Had a couple other good pots that we won, and I'm really tired. I know I keep saying that a lot, but I don't know if it's the travel, lack of sleep, but I decided to end the session after playing for a few hours, so we were in the game for $600 because I had to add on 100, and we were out for $985 for a profit of $385, so it was a great way to end the session and this trip. Well, that's gonna do it for vlog number 22. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I just have a quick announcement. I wanna share with you guys something really exciting. On my website, PokerfaceAsh.com, I'm proud to announce we finally have PokerfaceAsh apparel, so you guys can grab hoodies, beanies, bags. I even have some mugs. I have Spot Dead apparel because I know a lot of you guys have liked that phrase, Spot Dead. Also, of course, I've got my PokerfaceAsh logo on them. I hope you guys like it. Shout out to Katie who designed all this stuff for me. It's incredible and I absolutely love it. If you guys are interested in purchasing some PokerfaceAsh apparel, just head to my website. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. If you did, would you do me a huge favor and go all in and like, comment, and subscribe? It would mean the world to me. Remember, we're just getting started on this journey. It's only up from here. I'll see you guys next time.